Five, five, five. Wait. I decided to eat the honeydew. I mean, I left without eating yesterday, so today was the day. He didn't even go back for dessert, bro. Unlucky. I just wonder if Yu-chan's gonna be there. Of course, I would be happier if she was. See, of course, she's here. She's here now. Good. You're here. No. It was a little too embarrassing to tell her that I was, that I just wanted to look, that I just wanted to see her. Yeah, but, yeah, huh. Maybe because it's spring. My memory is kind of fuzzy. You could have just said, well, no. I was gonna say, you could have just said, well, yeah, but I didn't see you in your uniform. Yuta's definitely the most awkward with Yuna. So it's not like he's wondering if he likes her or not. He clearly does. It's more so if he has the balls to confess. Because he should know that she likes him too. Right? Like the other 5 girls. There were no other customers, so he chatted playfully. Usually her dad would have shown up and joined in by now. But today he seemed sullen, washing dishes in the back without giving us so much as a glance. I asked in a small voice as I sat down, is he still feeling bad? I mean, he's all quiet back there. Yucha tilted her head. A group of male customers entered and Yu-chan went to welcome them. Shirahase, can I get the lunch set?
Ayo!
His response was normal. He was always so jovial, it was odd to see him disgruntled. Well, just one of those days, I guess. We didn't talk when other customers were around, especially not when it was mostly male customers. It wasn't just that she wanted to focus on work. We couldn't hurt her reputation as the cafe's poster girl. Yeah, she's literally an idol. She's the cafe's idol. When we had talked about it before, she refused to acknowledge her role though. But I think she totally is. I watched her as I ate my food. Her outfit played a big part. But it was the girl inside the clothes that was the real treat. Yeah, I bet you want to see what's under her clothes. What? The group of guys that just arrived were also ogling her, barely talking at all. Guess we're the same breed. But hey, she's my childhood friend. But what kind of relationship were childhood friends supposed to have? Weird thoughts were invading my mind. She had been my next-door neighbor since I was born, so we were naturally close friends. The one female friend I had, really. But was that all there was to it? I was usually a fast eater, but it was taking longer than usual on my... It was taking longer due to my wandering thoughts. The other group of guys finished before me, and then the cafe was empty again. Guess I should be going to... I finished my last bite and moved to stand up from my chair.
Yu-kun, 聞いてくれよ.
Huh? Shirahase walked over to me with an odd smirk on his face.
ユウナが最近不良になってきたみたいでさ。ほら、心配だよ。
What? Hase?
何言ってるの、お父さん。
Yu-chan was thoroughly confused.
何言ってるじゃないだろ
He glared knowingly and motioned to Yu-chan's face with his chin.
化粧う
I didn't grasp the connection at first, so that's why he was so grumpy. She's a hussy because she started wearing makeup. Is that what you're saying?
そうだよ。そうだろ
He's stricter than I imagined him to be.
ほら、驚いたね。部屋に入ったら、兄弟になんやらかんやら林立していて。
お父さんたら勝手に部屋に入らないでって何度も言ってるでしょ。
たまたまだ、たまたま。
Yeah, you left your door open.
今度ドアのところに落とし穴でも掘っておこうかな。
家を壊す気か。
But I think calling her a hussy is a bit much.
そうかい、
even Yuna's confused. They responded in unison.
ほら、ゆうくんもそう言ってる。お父さんたら頭固いよ。もっと頭柔らかくしないと、スポンジみたいに。
Like SpongeBob.
それは怖い病気だろう。
If she was prancing around in Gangudo style or something, you could say that, I suppose. Yeah, but like, now I'm imagining Gyaru Yuna, you know? And like, you know, he's already got the blondish hair, so she doesn't need to dye her hair anymore. And like, never mind.
ただ、俺はまだちょっと早いと思うんだけどね。
I'm just
色気づ
saying,
くのは。
Yuna with a tan? I mean, like, you know.
そんなことないもん。お父さんたら私をいくつだと思ってるの？
そういう偉そうなことは、一人で飯を食えるようになってから言うように。兄弟に並んでいたあれだって小遣いで買ったんだろ？
お小遣いじゃありません。バイト代だもん。
He's got you there. He continued like he was gripping to me.
時給1000円だよ。ひよっこ相手にパートさんと同じだけ払ってるんだから、こりゃ身内のひいきってやつだろ。
1,000 yen is above minimum wage? But it would be a major blow to the shop without Yu-chan here. Yeah, you're paying her for her, not royalties. It's not like he's making fucking merchandise out of her. So yeah, that hit the mark. He backpedaled the conversation.
でも、ゆうくんだと思うだろ？まだ早いって。
I don't know. I don't check out other girls that much at school. But I think there's plenty around town. I've even seen a few Yamanba girls.
ヤマンバね。
Probably not a good comparison. He shook his head, as if erasing a terrible thought. I don't think Yuna's gonna go that far, okay? With such a natural girl like Yu-chan, I think it just makes her look lovely.
素敵って言われちゃった。うふふ。
Why are you saying it like he isn't here? Like he didn't just... She laughed awkwardly.
おいおい、あんまり乗せないでくれよ。
You might even get more customers now, like the last group of guys.
それは関係ないよ。
No, but appealing to your dad's emotions is the best way to get him to tolerate you wearing makeup, at least. She shyly averted her gaze. she was definitely modest when it came to the topic. If it brings more profits, maybe you could wear some too.
まあね。
いらっしゃいま
She approached the door to greet the customers. Simultaneously, Shirahase went behind the counter and exhaled a heavy sigh. I still don't understand why the text box still calls him Yuna's father, when we all know it's Shirahase. Is he that concerned about it? I watched him walk back to the kitchen and scratched my head. I thought we weren't having a serious conversation just now, but he might have been more sincere than I thought. He turned back to look at her occasionally with the same glare he had before. I stood up once the customers had finished ordering. I paid Yu-chan at the register. Thanks.
す。ありがとうございました。
Unlike her dad, Yu-chan was as bright and cheery as ever. It was still on my mind, so I went again in the evening. It was close to the last order, so Shirahase was likely alone.
Irashai! Oh,
As expected, just him in the whole cafe. I sat at the corner, and he gave me a glass of cold water.
珍しいね。食後のデザートかい？
Yeah, basically. I waited for a good time to bring it up. Honestly, I was a little surprised at first. What we talked about earlier today.
お、そうだろう？やっぱり。
He nodded in self-satisfaction. No, not that it's too soon for her or anything. Just, she doesn't seem like the type of girl who's interested in that stuff.
いや、同じことだよ、結局は。
Is it? I wasn't convinced, but he continued on that train of thought.
化粧なんて学園に通う女の子にはまだ早いって。大学とか就活の時ならそりゃわかるけどさ。
What did he say? I could see them wearing it when job hunting, I suppose. Sure, I guess.
ゆうくん、昼間は他にもいるみたいなことを言っていたけどさ。ただ、人は人だからね。
I was right. It weighed heavily on his mind. I could feel some tension while he talked about it. You're stricter with her than I thought. I grinned awkwardly as I said it.
それはね。だって、父親一人、娘一人だもんな。
I had ruminated on that fact yesterday. With that in mind, it wasn't hard to see why he would be strict on her.
やっぱり心配にはなるよね。いや、いつだって心配だったな。今だから言うけどさ、ゆうくんのご両親にも相談に乗ってもらったことがよくあったよ。
Oh, you did?
随分と親身になってもらってね。
Well, I'm an only child, so I'm not sure how much they helped.
いやいや。
He gave a hearty chuckle, then a stern look settled on his face again.
父親一人でまともに娘を育てられるかどうか。まあ、こういう自営業で時間は自由だから目はかけられたけどさ。そんな俺の心配をよそに、ユーナはいい子に育ってくれた。そのことではほっとしたんだけどね。
Yeah, she really is. I figured it was a good time to emphasize my point. She's not a bad girl, not at all.
お、断言するね。
But just because she wore makeup, he grinned like he was teasing me. Well, I've known her forever, so... The thought came back to me when I mentioned that. What was a childhood friend? Really? And one like her. I could reveal her favorable traits, and to her own father, no less. Did our relationship give me the right to do so? Kinda. And the answer to that peculiar question eluded me. Shirahase sighed and I snapped out of it.
ただ、ユーナも年頃だからね。これから先、こんな心配はさらに増えていくんだろうな。
Our talk had come to a full circle.
いや、待てよ。ここは逆に考えるべきなのか。
What do you mean by that? Backwards.
メイクなんていうのはあれだ。女にとっては武器だよ。殿下の宝刀じゃあるまいし、武器なら使わにゃ損だ。
I mean, no. Not really. Here's the thing, right? Why would a girl need to wear makeup? To attract potential partners. Why else would a girl want to wear makeup? To seem more appealing to certain individuals. Like, say, an employer. Or a teacher, I guess. Maybe not like that. Not in that way, you know. Look, like it or not, teachers tend to be more favorable towards students who look more attractive, regardless of the fact that they want to fuck them or not. That's not the point. Either way, Yuna is already going to have a husband, already has her career set out for her, essentially, unless she wants to branch out into doing something other than the cafe shit. In which case, I guess she would have a reason to wear makeup. But the main point of the makeup is to attract a potential partner, right? Which is what she already has. She doesn't know that yet, but she didn't need the makeup to get one. So, you know.
綺麗とか可愛いっていうのは女の子にとっては決してマイナスにならないからね。という武器は有効に使った方が幸せもより近くなるわけか。
What?
綺麗とか可愛いっていうのは女の子にとっては決してマイナスにならないからね。ということは。
I was surprised time and again at how intense he could be.
まあ、けど。
He slumped his shoulders and smirked.
そんなことで親が気を揉まなくても済む道が一つだけあったね。
You have an idea? Like kicking her out of the house?
こらこら、そうじゃなくて。
Yeah, that'd be a bad idea.
さっさと相手を決めちまうってことだよ。
Oh. Even being oblivious, I finally realized that he was smirking about what he was smirking about.
幸いというべきか。ユーナにはもう異中の男子がいるようだしね。ん
Pathetically, all I could do was laugh at like an idiot. Even though I already knew who the target of her affection was.
ま、俺がそこまで口を挟むつもりはないけどね、さすがに。とにかく思うことは、ユーナには幸せになってもらいたい。それだけだな。
Right. After that, I sent Yuna a text to meet me at our window spot. Well, that was an eventful conversation.
こんばんは。
Hi.
どうしたの？
Yeah, just wanted to report I went to get some dessert after dinner just now.
あ、珍しいね。ゆうくん、あんまりお菓子は食べに来ないから。
Yeah, I know. Just a whim of mine.
なんだ。だったら私も最後までいればよかった。他にお客さんもいないんだし、サービスしてあげたのに。
What kind of service is that? I laugh and ask suspiciously. She didn't think I would follow up on the joke, and she glanced around nervously.
耳かきとか
I think that's a different kind of cafe, like completely. Well, I mean...
じゃあ、お値段据え置きで量が 1.5 倍とか
Can an employee do something like that behind the owner's back?
無理かも。
Well, if she's the one bringing in most of the money, you know... She giggled at our stupid conversation. Well, we can always meet like this. We're childhood friends and stuff. And soon to be more.
それもそうだね。それで、何の話だっけ
Oh, right. I gave her the gist of what her dad had said to me earlier. I left out the serious parts, though.
女の武器か。お父さんたら大げさ。
But he not wrong, though. You can say that again. It was my intention to let her know that she didn't do anything wrong. That she didn't have anything to worry about. Her dad wasn't unreasonably opposed either. But they say women transform, right? So I guess that is a kind of weapon.
化けてる
She laughed slyly and flipped her long hair up with one hand.
熱烈な視線。恥ずかしいにゅ。
Can you not add weird noises to the end of your sentences? You're the one who made me look. It's dark, so I can't really tell. You've definitely transformed. You're definitely a transformer. I don't know why you wouldn't say... oh, yeah, you're a different person.
どの辺が
You're more metallic. She asked excitedly. You look like a car. Huh? Now it was my turn to be on the chopping block. Your lips? Yeah, they have a nice mulberry color.
どんな色
I don't really know.
ブー正解は今は化けてるはずないよ。だってさっき落としたから。
Oh, what the heck? Of course it was a little dark, but if I may be blunt, she looked the same to me whether or not she wore makeup. That just demonstrated she was a natural beauty.
武器とは言うけど、メイクも結構疲れるんだよね。
Yeah, seems like a hassle.
というか、だって想像してみてよ。
No, I'm good.
ゆうくんの顔に、例えば、ケチャップとかそういうのがついてるの。
Ketchup.
気になると思わない？すぐにワッシャワッシャと顔を洗いたくなるでしょう。
Oh, I see. Indeed, imagining some random sludge on my face, I would surely be driven insane. The infomercials for makeup removal pads that were like, how much it removes. Look how much it removes. Suddenly made more sense.
そのうち慣れるかもしれないけどね。とにかく。
Or, you don't wear makeup, and so you don't have to feed in to the whole... so you don't have to feed into big makeup.
私みたいな平凡な人は、武器でも何でも使わないといけないから。
Average. Hardly.
ありがとう。私、そろそろお風呂入るね。
Oh, okay.
じゃあね。
Bye. I closed the window and only then realized that it was a little chilly tonight. I hadn't noticed at all while we were talking. I guess I was too immersed in our conversation. I wonder if she felt cold. I opened the window again, but she was already gone. Phew. I sighed heavily for some reason. I thought it was a natural progression for girls to start wearing makeup. I recalled thinking so before, but girls who go through life without makeup were few and far between. So I didn't think there was anything weird about it. But Yu-chan said something before. What was it? To be competitive with princesses, I thought makeup was my only option. Something told me so. Maybe that was what she meant when she said average. I don't think she's average in the slightest. We were regular people, so we're certainly average in that regard. But Yu-chan was beautiful, drop dead gorgeous in fact. So in that sense, even being a regular human, the princesses couldn't hold a candle to her. Where does her lack of confidence come from anyway? Some of it could be attributed to her personality, but it was still odd. It's called motherless behavior. 5, 6. We all know about fatherless behavior. Alright, and fatherless behavior leads you down the OnlyFans route. Motherless behavior leads you down to self-esteem issues. Without the OnlyFans. Let's just say the fatherless girls still have self-esteem issues. They just mask it with taking naked pictures of themselves and selling it online to get validation from strangers online who fund her self-destructive. What am I saying? Regardless, it's Megumi. Oh, Shibuyan. I turn around to see another little kid in tow with her.
Konnichiwa.
Hi.
これうちの弟。ほら、挨拶して。
He doesn't have a voice. I go brat voice. He forced his head to bow, and he uttered a weird groan. I laughed a little.
あれ？今日はウッシー一人？
Yeah?
なんだ。また例によって複数人の女連れかと思ったんだけど。
Well, since there's he's in Yuna's route, he will be spending more time with one of the girls and not all of them. What the? You make it sound like I'm a playboy. I mean, you did make a pact with 6 girls, 5 official pacts and 1 semi-pact with Yuna.
でも事実じゃん。遊び人かどうかはともかくとして。
It's just that, you know, there's no harem route. Because if there was, you know everyone would go for it. Whatever. But not always, you know. I tried to make some kind of excuse because I couldn't deny it.
ウッシーってもう学校じゃ萌えアニメの主人公みたいなやつで通ってるからね。
Oh, really? What made you think that? No, he could never be an arrogant protagonist. Oh, it is? It is. I also couldn't deny that. But you can understand that too.
うちの兄ちゃんそういうの好きだから。いっつもテレビ画面が肌色。
What?
Sheesh.
Why would Cartman voice fit her brother? He pulled on her hand like he was getting annoyed.
ちょっと待ちなさいって。どうせ早く来ちゃったんだし。
What do you two come to do?
映画。
She glanced over at the Araragi-san Plaza. It was a massive shopping center with a movie theater too.
今ドルエモの映画やってるんだよ。一緒に見る？
I'll pass.
弟が連れてけってうるさいからさ。私アニメとか別に見ないんだけどね。
So she's the commander.
いうこと。
She slumped her shoulders, but I knew she was a good sister deep down. Having such a nice older sister might trigger the little brother sister complex. I was letting my mind wander. I saw that her little brother wanted to go to the theater as soon as possible, so I tried to leave, but then Shibuyan kept talking as was usual.
そうだ、ウッシーはもう知ってる？鈍そうなウッシーでもさすがに気がついたかな。
As usual for her. You didn't need to tack on the last part. Notice what?
ユーナがおめかしするようになったの。
Shibuyan flexed her arm in a pose as she spoke. Oh, yeah.
やっぱりさすがにわかるか。まあ、いっつも一緒にいるもんね。
Only in her route. Yeah, we're long-time friends, you know.
それだけかな。
Shibuyan grinned accusingly.
でもまさかユーナがそんなこと始めるとはな。ちょっと意外。
Even her good friend didn't know the exact reason, it seemed.
ま、あれかな。ライバルのルーチェとかがやたらと美人だから、うかうかしてられないとか。
I guess girls could sense these things.
でもユーナも結局どうするんだろうね。みんなが来た最初の頃とか、なんかちょっと一歩引いた感じだったけど。
Yeah? Did you not know? Did you not read the title of the first episode of Yuna's route? She finally got competition.
ああ、ま、それは私が気にするようなことじゃないか。じゃあコジ、行くよ。
Yay! I just executive decision, calm voice. She waved at me, and the two of them disappeared into the building. It's up to the guy to say stuff like this. I self-reflected on the train back to my station. Gender differences aside, Yu-chan tended to be modest and self-spoken. So it was really up to me to go ahead and say it. That I liked her. I do like her, don't I? I pondered to myself yet again. A bunch of girls showed up, who all supposedly liked me. But the one I wanted to see the most was the girl I had grown up next door to. So maybe I was in love with her. It was because she was such a long-term friend that I needed to be absolutely sure of my feelings. The girl I had been closest to my whole life. I had never considered ours to be a special relationship, being with her all this time. But in reality, it was something extraordinarily special. Now that the situation had changed, it was that much more clear. I guess. It does provide contrast, you know? Alright. I psyched myself up. I would tell her soon. That night, I also made up some story about needing something sweet to go to the honeydew again. Om nom. There were other customers, so I quietly took long, deliberate bites with my spoon. The male customers outnumbered the females, as expected. I could tell they were here for the poster girl. I glared at them suspiciously. Stop looking at my precious Yu-chan with those dirty eyes. They will sully her. Only I can look at her with my dirty eyes. I mean, that was probably a bit excessive. That's weird. I looked down at the table before me. Maybe it wasn't so strange. A maelstrom of emotions I had never experienced raged inside of me. It's not like guys had just started coming to the honeydew today to check out Yu-chan. All that had changed were my emotions regarding it. Now that I was conscious of my feelings, I was starting to feel more possessive. It was a bit childish not to be able to subdue at least that. About time to leave, don't you think? I was having imaginary arguments with them in my mind, but then they actually left. At long last, I was the only one left. Shirahase went outside to turn off the lights before coming over to me.
珍しいね。和菓子目当てに連日来てくれるなんて。ここに来て、俺の腕もますます上がってきたかな。
No, let's just say Yuna's marketing is extra effective. Yu-chan said she'd give me some special service.
ん？サービス？
Not anything you're thinking of.
そうだね。何しよっか。肩たたき？
なんだかよくわからんサービスだな。というか、そんなサービスなら俺を相手にしてくれよ。
嫌です。
She stuck out her tongue playfully.
これだよ。
He grimaced and laughed. He seemed to be in a bad mood yesterday, but they always got along well. Seeing them like this reminded me of that.
でもゆうくん、今日はお腹でも痛いの？
は？
なんか、ずっと顔をしかめていたから。
Oh, don't worry, he's just jealous of men. Oh, no. Maybe Yu-chan saw me glaring at the other random customers.
もしかしてすごく痛いの？
I hadn't even said anything, but she was jumping to conclusions.
大変！牛乳コンビは永遠なのに。
おいおい、死なせてどうするんだよ。
I'm just a little sleepy.
なんだ。そっか。ならよかった。
I finished my tea and stood up. Okay, thanks for dessert.
はいよ、毎度あり。
毎度
Guess it's harder than I was expecting. Well, no shit. No. Why would you think about doing anything with her dad there? Not with her dad there. On their fucking home turf. Literal home. It was my first time spilling my guts to a girl. That was one thing. But also thinking I had to confess to a girl I had known for so long. I feel tingly all over, even on my feet. I suppose it was just the butterflies in my stomach acting up. I had resolved yesterday that I would tell her for sure. Maybe I needed to steal my resolve from more of this. Wait. Some more for this. Yeah, okay. I needed to keep some semblance of coolness. I didn't want to show her a pathetic side of me. Five, 7. Always a good place to talk. The long weekend had finished, but I hardly paid any attention to class. I just brought up Golden Week in fucking 9-9, and then they have Golden Week in MML. It was cliche, but I guess the roof? I couldn't decide. Well, you can either go on the roof or the back of the school. I mean, behind the school, or at the tree on the hill, or in an empty classroom. There's a lot of cliche spots you could go, but I feel like that'll clue her in. If I even suggested going to the roof, she would immediately be wary. Maybe that wasn't an issue. I ended up deciding to call her over to the window as usual. But here's the thing, Yuta. The problem isn't the confessing. Well, no, it is the confessing, because you already know she likes you. So why are you trying to make it a surprise? It's like, you're not... I mean, technically you are proposing to her, because just like with every other fucking girl in this game, the confession is just a marriage proposal. because the possibility, because the chances of you to wanting to break up with the girl is not a possibility in this game. Because it's a romance. It's a romance BN first and an Erige second. That's why there's no harem route. It might not be. It might have. It might not have been the best setting for a confession, but it felt familiar for me as her childhood friend. We always chat like this, so no, wait, maybe it's not that often. I stared at the blackboard, eyes wide in thought. It was all a blur. It was all a blur as I took a stroll down memory lane. Yu-chan sat on her windowsill, and I stood at the foot of my bed. It felt like we had engaged in a lot of banter there as of late, but we actually hadn't done so at all until recently. Recently, right. Roughly around when Lucy's house appeared. Yu-chan alerted me in a panic. It felt like I hadn't talked to her in a while since then. Yeah, right. It had been some time. We chatted more casually when we were younger, I think. Well, the difference is that throughout the whole first year of your high school, you never came to school on time. So, you know, Yu-chan was just walking to school earlier. So, by the time you got there, you didn't really spend that much time with her. You did sit near her. You were in the same class, but she was more with Megumi. You were with Kendo, Ikeda, and not Ando. The other name they used. I don't know what the other name they used is, but I wish they used that one more. So it's more like there's not really. The only time they would have actually talked to each other would have been when she was working at the Honeydew. Somewhere along the way, it became less routine. Why did that happen? I'd never given it any consideration. Well, I just explained why. The main reason being, you didn't really have any chance to talk to her because you were never together when walking to school. You were never together during the break times in school because you would have been with your friends, aka the male friends, the ones that wouldn't be talking to the girls, unless they're referring to virtual girls, you know? Well, whatever. 5-11. Not to be confused with 7-Eleven, or the other one that I will not mention. I've been trying to find the courage all week, and I finally mustered it on the weekend.
Nani?
Yeah, Yu-chan was confused by my nonsensical mumbling.
そんなに寒い?
Huh?
寒くて口が回らないのかなって。
It's not exactly winter anymore.
それもそうだよね。じゃあ、顔面神経痛?
Do they look stuck?
うん。今は普通に喋ってるけど。
What about you? Aren't you cold? I called her up. Called her up for a reason. Yet here I was, getting off track. Well, a casual drifting conversation was more fitting for a friend like her. Sitting there in your open window. With your legs out like that. Maybe I let my tongue slip there. I could see her starting to blush.
変かな?
It's not weird at all. It's a bright, beautiful white, I guess, floating would... help you lead into a confession? Another slip. She was bright red now.
下着も見えちゃってた？
No. But very close. Very, very, like, I'm surprised that the game hasn't, you know, the game loves showing panties, that's all I'm gonna say. No, not that. Flustered, she pulled down her skirt. Honestly, I didn't see anything. You wished you did, though.
今日は白じゃなかった。
So that's what she thought.
靴下の話？
Not those either.
私ったら何言ってるんだろう。
Seriously. We laughed out loud.
それで何の話だったっけ？
Oh,
普段はスカートが多いけど、家の中ではトレーナーを履いてるんだけど。
Huh? Is that what we were talking about? Before I could figure it out, she continued musing about her sweatpants.
楽でいいよね、あれ。
Yeah, they are.
でもあれを履いて人前に出るのも、いかがなものかにゃー。にゃんて。
How does that... Here's the thing, right? She says no. And then Nyarified it. But putting meow doesn't work. Is that cat speak?
ネズミ色だから。
There are a lot of different colored mice. You can just say grey, you know? But I mean, I would be the only one here to see it. I guess going out to the convenience store in sweatpants, yeah, kind of embarrassing.
そっか。じゃあ。
But I guess the skirt is better. Yeah.
じゃあ、コンビニ行くときは気をつける。
No, that's not what I mean. She nodded with rosy cheeks. It seemed like she knew what I wanted to say. What I wanted to say. Dang, I hadn't even set the stage for my confession. Oh, Yu-chan. I opened and closed my mouth in silence. And the whole spiel. I had thought of just wasn't coming. And this was bad. It was my first time, and I was completely blowing it. Her eyes suddenly widened with concern.
苦しいの？
She was asking genuinely. No, I threw in the towel and went off in a tangent. She might get weirded out if I persisted. How's the store doing? I was just wondering.
お店の調子？売り上げとかのこと？
Well, that too. I mean, your dad collapsed recently.
あれは心配しちゃったけど、でもあれ以来、また元の仕事量に戻したから。
I nodded. I recalled her saying that.
売り上げは、どうなのかな？あんまりそういう話はしないから。
For the time being.
とりあえず？
Just tell me if there's any way I can help. It's just the two of you there. If there's some way I can contribute. I ended up veering off my intended path, but I wasn't just blowing hot air with that statement. Honestly, I didn't even play a sport or anything at school. I was more than capable of helping. Was this my first time actually offering help like that? Yu-chan humbly smiled at me. I was happy to see that.
じゃあ、早速一つお願い事をしてもいいかな？
Oh, yeah, go ahead. I became serious. I just didn't know. But perhaps there was something she was struggling with.
では、ゆうくんには実験台になってもらいます。
Uh-oh. In stark contrast to my assumption, her voice was as cheery as could be. Huh? Experiment?
ビリビリ
Oh. What's that gesture supposed to mean?
それは冗談だけど。じゃあ明日にでも。
No, it isn't. It isn't. That wasn't a joke. You're gonna get tased. Huh? She retreated back into her room before I could say anything. Experiment? Okay. What was she gonna do to me? Well, as long as I was helping. But still, what a pathetic display. What the heck did I spend all week preparing for? I even stood in front of the mirror, practicing my confession. Yet, with her before me, I couldn't utter a single word. Anyway, I couldn't dwell on my fleeting opportunity. I needed to wait for another one, or create my own opening. Well, the fucking shit that did. You already tried to create your own opening. And wow, her legs are so wide and pretty. Did she even realize that? Was she just playing dumb, talking about her socks, or being modest? Based on her personality, both were definite possibilities. I don't think I ever considered her a woman before. Even on that day in March, when she sat on the same windowsill for the first time in ages, I didn't even bother looking. Yes, I had just woken up, and the conversation was so raunchy, but still... Oh, hang on. And the conversation was so raunchy. Right. But now, I was focused on them. I couldn't help but be turned on by... admired her creamy whiteness. I guess this is another way that I've matured emotionally. It was the same as my anxiousness in the cafe before. Becoming increasingly infatuated with her. Above all else, I was interested in her womanly appeal that flourished after our time together. In that vein, the whole childhood friend concept was indeed strange. It was more than just being a friend. Gender didn't generally factor in, but now it did. 5:12. The knockoff. The next day was Sunday, and I was playing some computer games, not Eroge, an action-packed American game, like CS. Or League. Pick your poison. I hadn't forgotten what she said about being an experiment, but she was usually working on weekends. So I was planning on going to see her this evening. Come in.
こんにちは。
Not in your work uniform as well. What?
そんな驚かしちゃった？
No.
ああ。
You child glanced at my screen and then seemed to realize something. What's the matter?
そうだよね。パソコンではエッチなゲームができるという噂だし。
No, you're wrong. This game is hard. It requires masochistic levels of endurance. Not a great way of explaining it, but yeah. That could just make it sound like you're gooning, but gooning didn't exist when this game came out. I mean, it did. It just didn't have a name for it.
まず？
What I tell you? No, I mean, wait, are they the same? Anyway, I'm not playing any game like that.
そうだよね。だって戦闘機みたいのが映ってるし。
Oh, he's playing. He's playing today's sponsor, World of Wash. Never mind. What? So she knew. I was surprised because you're in your work uniform.
だって着替えるの面倒だから。
Oh yeah, I suppose. I can't think of any other American, quote unquote, action-packed American game that would also have that would also have battleships in it. Because like, you know, there's Azure Lane and Kantai Collection, but they're Japanese. Yes.
もうお昼食べたよね。
Yep.
あ、もしかしてお昼ご飯はあんまんとかあんパンだったりした？
Huh? No, just some ramen.
ならよかった。はい、これ。
Yu-chan held out a plate to me. On top was, whoa, cake. But why?
これが実験道具でーす。
One of them has poison in it. The other one has chili in it. Huh? I looked back at the cake. It had a pile of whipped cream on it, and some strawberry decorating it. It was simplistic, but looked amazing.
お店に焼き菓子を作るためのオーブンがあるんだけど、せっかくあるなら使わないともったいないでしょ？
This isn't new information. You make it. It's a fucking cafe. Bro, what are you talking about? It's a fucking cafe. The main selling point are the desserts.
でも私、和菓子はあんまり好きじゃないし、洋菓子は大好きなんだけど、それで。
I see. So this is.
ショートケーキ。
I just finished Sugar Temptation, bro. I can see that. So, you made this, you mean?
うん。お父さんが逆に洋菓子が好きじゃないんだよね。俺は和菓子職人だよ、とか言って。でも食べる人がいないと、張り合いもないし上達もないでしょ？それで。
I see. I finally pieced it all together in my head. She called it an experiment, but it looked a lot tastier than that. She had plastic wrap carefully laid over it. It was a whole shortcake and pretty large.
一人じゃ食べきれないと思うから、おじさんおばさんと食べて。
Thanks so much. I could participate in more experiments, you know.
でもさっきは店のお客さん変に思ったと思うよ。和菓子店なのにスポンジケーキの匂いがして。
Oh, right. Is the cake okay without you? Cafe okay without you?
あと。
What was that?
じゃあね、また後で。
Did she not realize? Yeah. She handed me the cake and scurried out of the room. I got some cake from Yu-chan.
ほう。
あらすごい。
お前誕生日だったっけ？
That's not something you should ask.
冗談だ。
Out of the year, guys. Right there.
これ自分で作ったんだって？
Yep.
上手ね。
We made coffee and ate it between the three of us. It wasn't quite 5 stars, but it was still delicious.